In this video, I'll discuss the 6 things the color wheel can tell you, and I'll start with some elementary information and then go to more advanced topics. And it's in my book, the Art Instruction course, Color and Light. The color wheel is composed of the colors of the rainbow put into a circle. Remember ROYGBV? Well, the R is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. We don't use indigo. And this wheel tells us the values of colors. It tells us color temperatures, which ones are warm and which are cool. It tells us about color saturation, which colors are primary, secondary, and tertiary, which are analogous or close to one another on the color wheel, and which are complementary. And I'll go over all of these. The value of a color means how dark or light it is. And to determine that, you can take a color wheel and turn it into black and white and then quantitate the values as a percentage of black. So yellow is the lightest color and it's only 5% black, whereas violet is the darkest color and it's 80% black. Red and green are mid values, both about 55% black. And the warm colors on this side have a wider range of values than the cool colors. And the values aren't evenly spaced steps. And you can see the difference here between color saturation, where we can tell the difference between these colors, but when we turn it into a grayscale, we find that they have the same degree of darkness. Primary colors, by definition, are those that can't be made by mixing other colors together. And in this color wheel, the primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. But as I'll show you later, red and blue aren't actually primary colors because they can be made by mixing other colors together. But we'll get to that. Secondary colors are a combination of 2 primary colors, and I'm sure you know this. Orange is a mix of yellow and red, violet is a mix of red and blue, and green is a mix of blue and yellow. Tertiary colors are the ones with 2 letters, like yellow, orange, yellow, green, and they lie between a primary and a secondary color because they're a mix of the 2. So let's look at red, orange right here, which is a tertiary color. It's a mix of red, a primary color, and orange, a secondary color, which itself is made of red and yellow. So this tertiary color, red-orange, is made up of red and yellow, but not blue. So it contains 2 of the primary colors. What is warm and cool light? Well, it depends who you ask. The physicist would say that blue light has short wavelengths, so it has a lot of energy, whereas orange light has long wavelengths and less energy. But for the artist, the blue light is cool because it reminds us of water and ice, and orange is warm because it reminds us of fire. The color wheel is divided into warm colors and cool colors. Warm colors make things look close by. Cool colors make things look far away. The warmest color is red-orange, and the coolest color is blue-green. The border between warm and cool are yellow-green and red-violet. Now, color temperature is relative, and it depends how close they are to the 2 extremes. So let's take violet. Violet is warmer than blue-violet because it's closer to red-orange, but it's not as warm as red-violet. The color wheel tells us which colors are analogous or close to one another on the color wheel and which ones are complementary or opposite each other. Green, for example, is opposite red. Green contains blue and yellow, and together with red, this pair has all the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. Yellow is opposite violet. Violet is made up of red and blue. So again, the pair has all 3 primary colors. And orange is opposite blue, and orange is composed of red and yellow. So again, all 3 primary colors. This is the way I remember these three complementary pairs. Red and green share the middle gray value, and they remind me of Christmas, like berries on a holly tree. Yellow is the lightest color, while violet is the darkest color. Orange and blue are the ultimate temperature contrasts if you exclude tertiary colors. And this combination is used for sports teams like the New York Knicks or the Denver Broncos or Florida Gators. So try to remember these pairs, and if my hints don't help you, try to think of ways for you to remember them. Now, what is the complement of red-orange? Well, the complement of red is green, and the complement of orange is blue. So the complement of red-orange is green-blue or blue-green. I've already described two color properties, value and temperature. Now I'll discuss the third one, color saturation, also called chroma or purity, and it refers to the degree to which a color consists of only one wavelength, like the purity of a chemical compound. Other terms used to describe saturation are brightness, intensity, brilliance, and luminosity. But these words are less specific because they can also refer to the intensity of light. Now, color saturation can range from bright red, which contains closely related wavelengths, all the way to neutral gray, which has a wide range of wavelengths. Now, while brilliant colors are usually fully saturated, not all fully saturated colors are brilliant. For example, yellow ochre, directly from the tube, is the most saturated for that specific color, but it's not as brilliant or bright as yellow. Saturation is the most difficult property to judge. For example, blue, as seen on the color wheel, is just as saturated as red or yellow, but it doesn't look that way because it's much darker. Saturated colors are more common with man-made objects than in the natural world, and they suggest that the light is intense. They suggest excitement and drama. While saturated colors successfully attract attention, if you have too many of them, it can be difficult to look at. So the more saturated a color is, the less area it should occupy in your painting. Saturation decreases whenever one color is mixed with another color, even if both starting colors are fully saturated. And because of this, you should reserve your brightest paints for accents, because you can always dull down a color, but you can never increase saturation through mixing. Saturation interferes with your perception of values. Yellow sometimes feels lighter than white due to its high color saturation, but in reality, yellow is about 5% black, so it's technically darker than white. And bright red is even more deceptive. Its high saturation makes it feel light, but it's actually a mid-value. In summary, hue is the main wavelength of light, like pitch in music. Value indicates the density or intensity of the light rays, like volume, and it is the only one of the four properties that can be quantitated using a value scale. Saturation indicates the purity of the wavelengths, and temperature defines colors as warm or cool according to their associations. And these properties are relative, so a value looks dark next to white, a color looks dull next to a pure color, and a color feels warmer next to a cool color. Colors can alter the apparent depth and size of shapes. Shapes seem to be closer and larger if their colors are saturated and warm, so they should be used in the foreground. Shapes seem further away and smaller if their colors are desaturated and cool, so this should be used in the background. The link to my book, Color and Light, is in the comments section, and please remember to subscribe.